Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's that time of the year. The Oscars are today, and I'm bringing you what I promised I was going to bring you, which is the ranking list for the 8 films that were nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. And I know I'm pretty late because today is literally the day that they're showing. They're actually going to be on in 14 minutes, so you're definitely going to see this when the Oscars are done. You know, better late than never, right? And, you know, cut me some slack because I had to pay $20 to rent The Father because it's not on any streaming services and it's not in theaters, or if it is, it's playing at 2:30 on a Monday, and that's the only showing. So it's just, you know, I kind of procrastinated. I was a little busy, so this is kind of late. Either way, I'm bringing it to you, okay? And I'm bringing it to you in this fuck racism hat. Why? Because fuck racism. And it's great because it's also a PH, which it means it holds the same weight, but it's kid friendly, right? So, and just to go on with the format, I'm going to give a quick little synopsis, quick little review for each one. And, you know, if you want to see the full review for any of them, you can go down to the description. I'll have the links for each of them, except there's a couple that I haven't made full reviews of yet, but when they go up, I'll have it in the description as well, and you can go check those out. But I'm going to try to make this pretty quick. There's only 8 of the films. So with that being said, I think it's time that we get to my list, and we can go ahead and start off with number 8. Roll it.
Mank, it's Orson Welles.
Of course it is.
I think it's time we talk.
What is it the writer says? Tell the story you know.
Hello, everyone.
So number 8 on this list is Mank. Mank is starring Gary Oldman. He's playing Herman Mankiewicz, which if you don't know who that is, he is a partial writer, or I guess really from the movie, he is the full writer of Citizen Kane, which if you don't know what that is, it is considered the pinnacle, the best film ever made by just, I guess, just by certain standards, and in classrooms and everything, it's always taught. And yeah, so it's kind of during that time and him writing the film as well as other parts of his story a little earlier that time. And with Orson Welles, he's not in it as much, but yeah, basically the creation of Citizen Kane. I haven't seen Citizen Kane yet. I know. Maybe I would have liked this film a lot more if I have, but for me personally, this film was incredibly boring. You have Gary Oldman, yes, and he's great in everything. Amanda Seyfried, you know, she's great. Lily Collins, you know, everyone's cool in this. It's just this film, what I would never watch it again. Will never watch it again. Very slow, just it does absolutely nothing for me, nothing that I liked really from this film, and that's why it's my number 8. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to number 7.
You are one of those lucky people that can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And they sometimes call you nomads.
My mom says that you're homeless. Is that true?
No, I'm not homeless. I'm just houseless. Not the same thing, right?
No.
And for number 7 on my list, we have Nomadland. Nomadland is starring Frances McDormand, and she essentially is playing a homeless woman in her 60s. She's living in her van, essentially, and she's moving to different parts of the world, experiencing different parts of life. But this is kind of after she lost everything, like her job. And so she's moving around, meeting all these people, and kind of just embarking on this adventure. For me, you know, I didn't hate this film. I definitely didn't dislike it nearly as much as Mink, but for me it was another one of those where it just kind of dragged. There was not too much to it, at least in this one. Unlike in Mink, she's doing different things in her life, and you know, you get to see some nice stuff, or it gets you in this like, I wonder what it would be like to kind of be on my own and live like this for a little bit. But again, with this one, nothing really special for me, nothing crazy stood out. Nothing in particular that I really loved about this film, so that's why it is my number 7. And now we go ahead and move on to my number 6.
새로 시작한다고 그랬잖아. 이게 그거야.
아빠는 빅 가든 하나 만들 거야.
What a wonderful day to be in the house of the Lord. If you're here with us for the first time, please stand.
All right, so my number 6, we're starting to get into now all these films that I like a good amount, but it's just about, you know, which ones I like more. And so with Minari, we have just a Korean family who moved to a farm in Arkansas. And it's kind of about their life in Arkansas, and we have the husband and the wife who kind of don't see eye to eye. The wife didn't really want to move out of the city to the country, but the husband, you know, he's just been wanting to build his farm forever, so she's kind of there for support, but also kind of struggling because she doesn't really want to be there. I really did love the chemistry between the family, and then there's the grandma that comes in. I forgot her name, but she definitely, I think, was a phenomenal supporting actress and deserves a nomination. So I'm sure she's nominated because she was phenomenal. It was really nice to watch this family and this conflict between, you know, one man really wants, this is his dream and he wants to complete his dream, but it doesn't align with his wife and what she wants. And so obviously, again, that makes for some drama, and, you know, there are some really heartwarming moments, again, some really funny moments between the grandma and the son and her grandson, and it's really nice to watch. We're going to go ahead and move on to my number 5 on this top 8 list.
Good God almighty. You know, they put themselves in danger, girls like that.
It was a perverted thing to say.
You'd think you'd learn by that age, right?
Please lay down. What are you doing?
It's okay. Hey, you're safe.
What are you doing? Hey, I said, what are you doing?
Number 5, we have Promising Young Woman, and in Promising Young Woman, we have a young woman who goes to these late night bars over the weekend, and she appears to be intoxicated, but really not. She's just luring men in and trying to scare them out of being these horrible people trying to take advantage of women who are under the influence, and things start to become a little more sinister as she meets a guy who seems really nice, and things, you start to unfold and you see why she's doing what she's doing, and then you see her kind of going and essentially having her own revenge on certain people that she think wronged her friend, which is causing her to do all of these things. I do have a full review on that, so if you want to go more into detail, you can go there, but I thought this was played really well. Bo Burnham plays like her love interest. I forgot the name of the main actress. Either way, she was really good in it. Bo Burnham played a really nice role in it, and it had this really dark but charming aspect to it, this kind of almost satisfying revenge story, and it was like on the edge of being really dark, but not exactly extremely dark. It's just kind of like teeter-tottering. I know, that's really my review, but I thought it was great, and I think that you guys should all go see it. So that's my number 5. We're gonna go ahead and move on to number 4.
We want to underscore again that we're coming to Chicago peacefully, but whether we're given permits or not, we're coming.
We're going to Chicago to protest the Vietnam War.
And there's no place to be right now but in it.
We watched for a decade while these rebels without a job tell us how to prosecute a war. Well, they're going to spend their 30s in a federal facility, real time.
All right, and for my number 4, we have the trial of the Chicago 7, which takes place in the 1960s in Chicago, when some riots broke out due to a political event that was organized, and some people got violent, and it's really about who started the violence. Was it the police, or was it these groups of young kids or young adults, and who incited the violence? And they're in trial, and it sounds not amazing, but I think the way that it was made was really well done. It was written by Aaron Sorkin, who's made some phenomenal films, and all of his films are like mostly dialogue and just mostly amazing. I really encourage you to watch this because this is a part of history now that I won't ever forget, because it just really interested me throughout, and I got to see kind of how corrupt kind of the justice system could be, or how it was. And I really was interested in everyone's stories. There was a bunch of people that were involved, and everyone did really well. I mean, you had literally like Eddie Redmayne, who's known to be a really good actor. He was great in this. You had Sacha Baron Cohen, who, even though he was goofy in this, it was a different kind. It wasn't like one of his characters, he wasn't Borat or whoever. So you had a lot of really grounded performances, really good performances, and really nice writing, which really just kind of encapsulated this film and made it just a really whole film that was enjoyable to watch. So definitely recommend this one, and we're gonna go ahead move on to number 3.
You sound great.
Yeah, right.
What? You telling me you weren't feeling it? You were in it.
We don't need to put them all out.
I know, but we just need to film.
With number 3, we have Sound of Metal, which was the last review that I did. So if you haven't seen it, please go see it. But it stars Riz Ahmed, and he plays this heavy metal drummer. And they're in a relatively popular underground band, is what it appears to be. But he ends up waking up one day, and his hearing is starting to go, and he's not he doesn't know why it's happening, and so he goes to the doctor, but it's evident that he's going deaf. So he's trying to cope with that, as he was also a recovering drug addict, so he doesn't want to obviously fall back into that. And so what he decides to do, and what him and his girlfriend agree upon, is that he was going to go to this community of that they have for deaf people, and hopefully through that come to some sort of healing or understanding of what it is inside, and hopefully he can cope with it in a healthy way. This is it's tough, because with these top 3 films that I have the top 3 best performances between Riz Ahmed was phenomenal. We have Daniel Kaluuya, who's in Judas the Black Messiah, and we have Anthony Hopkins, who's in The Father. All phenomenal, and I would not care if any of these 3 won. But he really, I think, carries this film on his shoulders. Most of it is in his eyes, but then we have Paul Raci, who is his opposite. He is like the head of this deaf community, and he has such a really grounded character who really tries to relate and show I forgot his name in the movie, but Riz Ahmed's character really tries to show him that it's not a disability. They don't want deafness to be seen as a disability, just something another part of life that happens. You see everything. He carries all the emotion really, really well in this film, and you can feel all the emotions through the screen that he's feeling. And for that reason, I'm putting it at number 3 on this list. We're gonna go ahead and move on to number 2.
Repeat after me.
Alright, for my number 2 film, we have Judas and the Black Messiah, and it's starring Daniel Kaluuya, who plays Fred Hampton, and then we have the Keith Stanfield. I forgot who he plays, but he basically helps the FBI go undercover and see what the Black Panthers are doing and what they're kind of plotting and scheming, because the FBI is trying to find some sort of way to take Fred Hampton down, because they believe that he is like the infrastructure of the Black Panther Party. And they, during this time, still a lot of racism, and so they utilize Lakeith Stanfield in order to infiltrate. You can't really tell what way he's really going, because at first he doesn't care about the Black Panther Party, and that's why he's doing it. But then he starts to hang out with them, see what their movement's about, see kind of like what they're doing this for and how they're treated. And so he's now stuck in this, you know, back and forth, and between him and Jesse Plemons' character, who plays like the main cop that's conversing with him. And so I really love the acting from Lakeith Stanfield. I don't know if he's going to be up as supporting actor. I didn't see, but I definitely think he should be nominated for supporting actor. And then Daniel Kaluuya is just, every single time he plays in a film, he's phenomenal, and he's somebody different, and it's just insane. I can't believe he's British, dude. That's just nuts. But we've gone through 7. We're here for number 1. You all know what it is now, but let's go ahead and roll a short clip of this trailer and let's talk about it.
Laura has come round to help you.
I don't need her or anyone else. I can manage very well on my own.
Everything all right?
Who are you?
Actually, it's me, Paul.
Who?
I live here.
What is this nonsense? Anne?
It's me.
Ah, there she is.
Your father seemed a bit confused.
Something wrong?
Where's Anne?
Sorry?
Anne, where is she?
I'm here.
All right, so for my number 1 film on this list, for the 8 films that were nominated at the Oscars, is The Father. And The Father stars Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. And what it really is about is Anthony Hopkins is the father, and he's playing someone going through Alzheimer's disease. And then you're getting the way that this film is edited is in a way where you can kind of understand what someone's seeing and how scary it is to be going through it. And Olivia Colman is playing his daughter, as I said, and she's also obviously family member, someone who's taking care of her father and has been, starts to see him going through this phase, and you kind of get all the emotions of that as well. And this film is so good. It's heartbreaking, but it's so well made, again, because of the editing and how you feel like you can understand from both sides how awful it is to experience as someone who would have Alzheimer's disease, to not even be able to recognize your daughter as she walks through the door and looks like someone completely different, and so you don't know who it is. You don't feel like you know who that is. And to be honest, you know, if you saw someone else that walked through your door and they could tell you everything about your life as if they've known you your entire life, but you've never seen them, like, could you really feel emotion towards them? And that's kind of what Anthony Hopkins portrays in such an amazing way. Someone who, you know, is acting like nothing's wrong, and then you have Olivia Colman who's going through this, you know, her father who she's been taking care of, and who, you know, obviously it's her father who she loves so much, is doesn't even recognize her sometimes, or can't remember things, is constantly needs things being repeated, and going through the same, you know, sad emotions when she's telling him that, you know, she's going to move to Paris, but then he thinks she didn't say that, but then he can't remember. It's a whole lot of emotion in this film and incredible acting. It's an hour and 36 minutes long. Everything about this film I could say is like perfect. I wouldn't change a person, I wouldn't change a scene, I wouldn't change a word. I will say though, as a warning, if you know somebody or have gone through it with a family member, friend, whoever who's gone through Alzheimer's, this could be hard to watch, very hard to watch. I know I saw someone else, a different reviewer, review this, and I forgot who it was. Someone in his family had Alzheimer's, and it was really tough for them to watch. So with that being said, just be aware of that. That's gonna round out my 8. So hopefully I could cut this so it's not too long. But yeah, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this film. I hope you enjoy the Oscars, and more to come. Look out for the full reviews for some of these other ones. If you really like when I trash on stuff, you can wait for my Mink review that, you know, got a lot to say about that. Got a lot to say about The Father too, so look out for that one. But yeah, I gotta go watch the Oscars. It started. I recorded it, so it's cool, and I'm gonna edit this out, and so I gotta go, guys. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when I post a video. And I hope you all have a very good day.